Hello again, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny episode. Now, before we get started, it is Tuesday's reset. We are going to go over all of the vendor roles for the armor and the weapons for this week, but first, the announcement of the winner of last week's weekly giveaway for the subscribers, and that goes to Japan Lover. Congratulations. All you have to do now is please message me back on the message I sent you on YouTube, DM me on my official Twitter page, linked in the description of this video, and then after that, I will do a third verification process with you. That's kind of a surprise, and then I will give you $10. Congratulations. Also, for anybody that is a little worried that they didn't win last week, don't worry. I do a weekly giveaway for all of my subscribers every single week, so you have a chance this week as well. And I'm also giving away 3 copies of Destiny 2 before the launch of Destiny 2. So if you're interested in any of those giveaways, the details are on the screen now. All you have to do is pause the video, read the instructions, and enter in for the giveaways. To get in this video now, finally, we are going to go over the tower vendor weapon rolls and the armor sets that are going to be a 98% to 100% maxed roll for intellect, discipline, and strength. Now, I'm not going to give you guys any BS. I'm going to straight up give it to you. There's barely any weapons this week. I'm not too sure what the other YouTubers on the internet are going to do, but I will let you know there's pretty much only 3 weapons I really want to take a look at, and there might be 1 or 2 other ones you can kind of take a look at, but ultimately, we're not going to have very many weapons to go over. I'm also not too sure on the armor yet until I get over to Dim, but to go over the weapons, the Whale, the hand cannon from Lakshmi, is actually pretty decent. It's got rangefinder, hammer forged, and explosive rounds. It's going to be a pretty decent one for PvE. Alongside this, it's got sure shot or quick draw, so both pretty decent as well. Now, moving on further, you can take a look at the Wounded. The Wounded isn't that bad. I would love to opt this out for high caliber rounds, but sadly it doesn't have high caliber rounds, but everything else on it is good. So it does have ranged lens, RLS 3, which I love. It also has reflex. Then it's got perfect balance or unflinching, and it's got firefly. So for this, I would run firefly, perfect balance, and then probably quick draw, and then probably range lens, RLS 3. So this one's pretty decent. Moving on down, we are actually going to be staying on this end of the tower this week. We're not going to be going to the other side, surprisingly. But we're going to also go over to Jalal. Jalal from Dead Orbit is going to have 1 weapon for us to take a look at. And surprisingly enough, that is going to be the Extremophile. The Extremophile auto rifle is going to have rangefinder. It's going to have small bore. And then it's going to have high caliber rounds. And then steady hand IS. So ultimately, pretty decent auto rifle. Now, the high caliber I would love to switch out for something else, but ultimately still a pretty decent auto rifle. And then moving over to our buddy Ronnie is going to be the last weapon for us to take a look at, which still isn't very impressive, but we might as well go and take a look at it, which is going to be the Angel's Advocate. The Angel's Advocate is going to be a return to sender, perfect balance, high caliber rounds, and Zen moment. Along with that, focus lens, FLA 5, or OEG rifle scope. Now, recommend OEG rifle scope, recommend Zen moment, perfect balance, and return to sender. Ultimately, I would love to remove return to sender, but it's pretty much the only decent scout rifle for this week other than the Wounded, and both of them aren't really that great. So there's the weapons for this week, guys. I'm not going to show you guys any BS or weapons that I believe would be great when they're not. So yeah, I really can't wait to see what other YouTubers talk about for the weapons for this week. But sadly, there's barely any weapons of any use. So let's go over to Dim and check out the armor. Now, Guardians, that we're over in Destiny Item Manager, aka known as Dim, a Google Chrome extension really useful for switching items in between your vault space and your Guardian's inventory, or going over the vendor roles for the reset. So we're going to go through. The Vanguard Scout has nothing of 98% or higher. The Titan Vanguard also has nothing interesting. The Hunter Vanguard has a 100% rolled cloak for the Hunter, and that's going to be intellect and strength. Then, moving on to the Warlock Vanguard, we have a 98% Ghost, and this one is going to be Intellect and Discipline. Now, I wouldn't recommend buying a Ghost because Ghosts can be acquired from the weekly featured raids at 100% roll, so definitely go into the weekly featured raids before purchasing a Ghost from any of the Vanguards. Then, moving further down, the Vanguard Quartermaster will obviously only have weapons. Eris Morn has a 98% Warlock Bond. That will be Discipline and Strength. Then we have House Judgment. House Judgment is going to have pretty much nothing of any interest. There is going to be a 96% roll for the Cloak, Bond, and the Titan mark if you're looking to increase those, but pretty much since they're only 96%, we're not really interested in them in this video. Then we've got Future War Cult. Future War Cult does have some 97% rolls, but nothing of any value. Then we also have, moving down to Dead Orbit, some more 96 rolls, and then there's going to be one ghost that's 98%. That ghost will have Intellect and Strength. Then moving further down to New Monarchy, we have a 97% roll. We have some 96s, and then we have a Titan helmet that is going to reach 99%, and that is going to be Discipline and Strength. Then moving further down, we've got the Crucible Quartermaster, obviously with just weapons. We have the Crucible Handler, which is going to have a 98% Warlock Bond at Intellect and Strength. And then we can go even further down, and we can get to a 96% from rank 3 for the Crucible. And then last but not least, 107% roll for Memory of Scory. Everything else in here is basically useless. Now there is going to be nothing from the Speaker except for some 96% rolls, and then 98% Warlock Bond, and 98% Cloak for the Hunter. That Warlock Bond is going to be a 98% for Intellect and Discipline, and a 98% Cloak for Discipline and Strength. And that, Guardians, is all for this video. Thank you for stopping by and watching another vendor reset. I hope the video helped you, and an honest review on the weapons. The weapons this week just suck in general. I'm sorry, Guardians out there. There's no good weapons. I'd rather just go farm in the Crucible for something worthwhile. But that's basically it for this video. Thank you all, and stop by next week for another vendor reset video on Tuesday. If you're new to the channel, make sure to press that subscribe button. Hit the little bell to turn on notifications to know when I get live or when I upload a new video. And perfect time to be a part of the Privileged Ones for daily Destiny content and Destiny 2 information as it comes up. As always, Guardians, stay violent and be privileged.
Oh, hi. VPG isn't here right now, but I guess you enjoyed the content. So over there's the logo you can click on. That will allow you to subscribe. More content up there, and behind the scenes daily content over here on the vlog channel. There you go. Enjoy!